Welcome everybody to a fantastic new day of game development. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about motion capture, and we'll be talking about Metahuman Creator, and Unreal Engine, and how to make a realistic looking human and bring it into your game. So, first of all, motion capture has been used for a long time in the movie industry. If you have ever seen like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings came out like 20 years ago. You can see like Andy Serkis in a motion suit. It's actually quite funny. Well, yeah, here he is. Like he's like climbing on top of people and things like that. It's actually quite hilarious. MoCap's been around for ages. The kind of the hot new thing in MoCap is called markerless motion capture. And so, how many people here remember the Kinect from the Xbox? Was it the 360, or was it a more recent one? Maybe they had it on the. Yeah. Was it the 360, or did they like it because they made it? Yeah, it's like for the Xbox One, they made it like the central point of the Xbox, and then they sort of silently, stopped making it and ignored it from there on out. And so the Kinect had a depth sensing camera, is what it's called, and so it sends out a grid of invisible points, and then it can measure the distance those points are away from the camera. So it has one thing that shoots out the grid, another thing that looks at it, and then from that it can derive a point cloud of depth out to like 2-3 meters, something like that. And it could do, yeah, this is like kind of what it would see. And so it couldn't see behind you. It couldn't, if you occluded, your hands one way or another, it could get confused pretty easily. This is kind of what it was looking at. Okay. And so it could figure out like where your background was, especially if the background doesn't move. It would be able to figure out, okay, that's your bookshelf right there. That's your wall. And then when you move in front of it, it would be able to do things like fitting a bone, like it tries basically matching a skeleton on top of your body. And then from that, you could control the different little games they had for the Kinect. The most famous one would be like the dance games. Does anyone in here ever did you ever play like not Dance Dance Revolution? That was a pad that you jumped on. What was it called? Just Dance, I think it was. And then there were some other ones, I think, too, right? Can't remember the names of them off the top of my head. So, multiple versions for the Wii. Yeah, so for those, you'd have to like hold a Wiimote, right, and like dance with them. With the Kinect, it would actually just look at your body. It would fit a skeleton on top of you, and then use that to be like, are you doing the wave properly, or something like that. Kinect Star Wars, nice. Yeah. So unfortunately, even though that was supposed to be the hot new hotness, as with a lot of these things, it just sort of, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen, right? Is basically. And yeah, it was annoying that they made it, like in order to like use your Xbox, you'd have to like wave at it and like wait for it to like recognize you, and then you'd have to like move your hand over things and leave it there for like 5 seconds, and it would like register a press, and it was not it was not as smooth and well thought out as I think they wanted it to be. But I use this actually in my professional life, not for gaming actually, but for serious business. It never caught on, but it should. I think. I don't know. I don't know if should is a little strong, because their implementation of it was kind of not the best. But I mean, the Wiimote, like nobody thought the Wiimote was gonna like be a winner. You know what I mean? Like motion controls, like really, this is the whole shtick. And yeah, even to this day, like Switch still has motion controls on it and stuff like that. And Wii bowling, yeah, or the tennis. I had my 90-year-old grandma like playing Wii tennis. That was very well executed, even though it was a very janky implementation. If you just went like this, like your character would swing like when we first got it, everyone's like taking these big swings, backhand, forehand. And then we all realized you just go like this, right? And then it would still swing. The implementation was not great, but man, yeah, Wii bowling, Wii tennis. I had the Wii Sports Plus that had fencing in it, or kendo, some kind of like kendo thing. That was really fun. So a lot of these technologies, I think they really boil down to like, can a company make a killer app for it? And MoCap, unfortunately, never really did. There was like Kinect Adventures that was kind of fun. Really beyond the dance games, though, like, yeah, Wii Fit, yeah. During the pandemic, I tried to rely on Wii Fit for my exercise because the pandemic shut down all the gyms. Ash was falling from the sky. You couldn't go hiking, so I'm like, all right, I'll get the little Wii, like you squeeze the thing together and whatnot. Twilight Princess, yeah. So a lot of these VR is another example of a technology that really could have been better and still is waiting for the killer app. And companies like Meta, Facebook are still trying to, they are still trying to make VR happen despite, still kind of lacking in a lot of things. So what I was saying was that for MoCap, I actually used it in my professional career. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. And so I worked with the Olympic Training Center. Well, I didn't work. I worked with the track and field coach at the Olympic Training Center. I don't want to overstate, my thing, but I would go down to the Olympic Training Center in San Diego, Otay Mesa, and do MoCap with their track and field people occasionally. And it was kind of fun. And so I ended up getting a little bit of money for it, like with teenage sports people. So you can do something like this where, basically they're going to do a spike, right? And so you can see that we have the video on the right-hand side here, and then we've got a skeleton fit to them on the left-hand side. And all of this produces biomechanic data. So the rotational speed of the shoulder, you can see that the hands flip out when they move behind the body. See how they there's this the hand is going like this. That's because it can't see. This is a Kinect that is viewing this. You can see the LiDAR infrared points out there, and they are depth sensing to find the volume where the person is, and then you can feed the data of this into different things. So here we go. You got a basketball, right? So yeah, and you can see the point cloud here. It's not exactly accurate, the basketball. Maybe it is. I don't know. And so coaches could look at the MoCap data, and for one thing, you just look at the motion, you dropped your shoulder, or whatever it is. I'm not a coach person, but they could be like, your shoulder was out of place, your elbow was out of place, that kind of stuff, and you moved your hand up too fast, whatever it is the domain specialist looks for. And what's really cool is you can take this data and rotate it around. It's actually kind of more useful than just a video, because you can actually rotate around in 3D and look at the person from all the different angles and see if they did the things correctly, if they did the motion correctly. And when we worked with the Olympians, they're interested in things like, how fast is my hand moving? did I move my hand faster after I threw it or before? Because if you're moving your hand faster after, then, like that's a problem, right? And see if we can actually find the shots from the Olympic Training Center. Let's see here. And pause the recording for a second. Yeah, so here's a shot of the iPhone. And so basically the iPhone has a LiDAR kind of thing on it. And so you can do a motion and just have your iPhone record all the bones in your body. So, all right, so here is the turn off the audio on it. So you can see it's doing its best to try and fit the skeleton you see superimposed on top of it as the test subject moves her sword around like that. It does a pretty good job. Like it actually runs in real time pretty well. And it can also do faces as well. So let's see if we got another one here. You see it's kind of jerking, it kind of jumps around and things like that. But overall, not too bad, not too bad. Let's see. Okay, found it. Yeah, it's actually a hard thing to do. Like we actually licensed one of the first products, technologies, algorithms. I don't know what you call it. I actually flew out to University of Maryland at College Park, Baltimore, outside of Baltimore, and licensed the source code for a guy's basically doctoral thesis. This is like 10 years ago, maybe more, which basically would fit a skeleton on top of point cloud data, because markerless motion capture is really cool. You don't have to buy one of those MoCap suits. They're like thousands of dollars to get a MoCap suit. And also when you have a MoCap suit, you behave differently. Whereas with a markerless motion, you can just do whatever you want and you can just behave naturally, and you can import the motions of that into Unreal Engine and use it as an animation. And then you don't have to use the pre-cooked animations from Mixamo and things like that. You don't have to hand do the animation, which, oh Lord, that's going to be, a nightmare. Like there's a lot of joints in the human body to animate properly. It's a lot better to just get somebody to go out there and just kind of strut around however you want them to, and then record it and, just with a Kinect or with your iPhone or whatever, and then import that into Unreal Engine. So here is Cirrus Hofstetter, who's a Olympic javelin thrower. This is down at the Olympic Training Center. And so we were like that, you can see how fast his hand's moving, right? He was a track and field guy and sprinter, and he actually got into javelin throwing because if you can generate a lot of power from your legs, you can actually throw javelins further. So you can see here, you can rotate it around and stuff like that, and then feed the data from that into a biomechanics package. And then people who know more than me about sports can be, they can look at it and tell you things about it. Or if you're an Olympic athlete, like the Olympic athletes oftentimes can do it themselves. So they can be like, okay, that was good, or that was bad, or I need to do this differently. And you can do it almost in real time. Like they can do the throw, and by the time they've gotten their javelin and come back, you'd be like, here's your 3D, throw, while it's still fresh in their head, and be like, okay, I need to do this differently. That's pretty cool. Okay, so so Raymond, if you don't know how to do that, don't worry. It's actually hard, and it involved like eigenvectors and things like that. So let's do a little bit of this. Not MoCap, but we're gonna do Metahuman today, and so there is a website you can go to, and the website is called Metahuman Creator. And you can go to here and launch Metahuman Creator for 5.3, which is the version we have right now. And it's pretty cool. This is like Skyrim or one of these RPGs where you can like customize your hair and facial hair and skin color and things like that. So the The cool thing about it is you can sit there and play with all the different sliders and then export the model that you make from here into Unreal Engine. And that's, while this is loading, I'll just show you this guy here. So we were kind of going for Sid from Toy Story after he's been aged for about 30 years. That guy kind of. And so I was kind of like trying to sculpt the nose and they decided to give him like, early, male pattern baldness. So I was trying to like go for that with like the nose a little bit. It's not great, but kind of looks a little bit like Drax, I think, from Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I gave him just like the tackiest purple and like hot pink and green shorts, and I think in Toy Story he had like a skull on his t-shirt too. So it is still loading. All right, cool. So basically inside of that website you can design all this stuff like you're designing a character for an RPG. And when you're done with it, then you can export it from Metahuman Creator into Unreal Engine. And the process is a little bit slow. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it's not fast either. Are we ready? No. Let me pause the recording until this thing loads. Okay, so here we go. It's finally loaded. So let's go ahead and make a new one. I'm going to create. And it's going to show you a palette of existing metahumans. And just you guys on chat, just type out the name of whatever person you want me to use as the starting point. So whatever you guys feel like, just call out now. Anyone on chat? Trey. All right, you got it. So we're going to click on Trey, and then it's going to load, and it's kind of it's a little glitchy. Like you'll see the animations like glitch every so often. Maybe not. Maybe it's better now. I don't know. All right. So we're gonna hit create, and we can rename this whatever we want. So Rodell, what should we name? What should we rename this character to? And while you're thinking of that, I'll just show you the different options. These are like sliders inside of a video game, right? You can age the person, horribly. You can make them look really young. I don't know why that's called texture. I guess I get it, but it's basically the age slider, Isaac. All right. Got it. All right. And you can change the tone, more green-like, more red-like, a rough, smooth. This can get really shiny. It's kind of like oily, right? It's like more like oily skin. Okay. So the eyes, it's striking. I like that. You can, just like in an RPG, you can change all these things. I like these. These are nice. Let's go to teeth. I completely messed with the teeth on this guy. Unfortunately, his mouth's not open. You can't see how jacked up his teeth are, but like you can set all these different things here, like receding gums. You can make his jaw open. Let's do this and just make him have super yellow teeth and like super spaced out and worn down. Like you just give somebody just absolutely horrible teeth if you want. Let's be nice to Isaac. I don't know. We already got one scuffed up character, so let's just give him nice teeth. I don't know. What do you guys think? Makeup, foundation. Why not? Shiny foundation. There you go. Look at that. Guy looks like he's made of plastic now. The whole point of foundation, right, or powder is to kind of not be so shiny as that, right? That's pretty good. All right, eyes. Go for like the Hunger Games look here. Metal eyeliner. Super clown-like. No, I don't like that. Maybe just a little bit of rouge in the cheeks. Lips. It doesn't look good. All right. I'll be nice to Isaac. I'll be nice to Isaac. Rouge. Rogue or rouge? Speaking of samurai now. Blush. Alright, we got a samurai going on now. So, change the eyeliner. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Body proportions. A little skinny that way. A little more fit that way. Looks like samurai guitarist a little. Yeah. Skin's a little bit off. Add a little bit of age. Freckles. That looks a little more realistic. Like some freckles come through, a little more age come through. Samurai. What color outfit should he have? Yeah, so Megan asked on chat, can you have different visibility channels? The answer is yeah. You can create a custom visibility channel that can either block vision or block traces in different ways. You can check the different options on that. I'll just keep the same. Kind of wild. Anyway. 242, 107. 242, 107. Okay. There we go. That's a pretty nice, like, French Navy kind of color. And yeah, sure. Let's go with that. For the bottoms, we got pants on, cargo pants. We got jeans, maybe yoga pants. Samurai yoga pants, slacks, potentially. What do you guys think? What should our samurai here be wearing? Shorts. Okay. 242, 107, 242, 107. 242, 107. So you have exactly the same shade on all these guys. Yeah, whatever. Good enough. Have it be black trim. Okay, so you can see how this process works, right? Like you can mess with all these different kinds of things. Blend is pretty cool. You can actually drag different people onto the different things here, and then you can click and you can blend between one face and another. So you can like select the nose off one character, the eyes off another character, so on and so forth. So make the eyes bigger, the cheeks narrower, wider. Pretty cool. It's like a pretty neat tool. There's a sculpt tool, and then with this you can have more fine grain control. So if you want to pull the nose out or push the nose in, make the nose bent upwards or bend downwards. Do that. And yeah, you can basically just spend as much time as you want messing with this, making a very nice, realistic looking character. And then you can click on the animations here, and it'll cycle through. If you click on Body ROM, it'll cycle through the different sort of animations for the character. If you click on this one, it'll play the happy animation. Surprise. Idle. And this will go through all the different face animations and things like that. You can kind of see how the thing animates. Looks pretty good. I mean, for a free tool that you can, you know, that you do for free, it is pretty awesome. All right, so now let me show you how to export it. All right, so you might notice from here there's no export option. Yeah, one other thing I want to show you. Let me zoom in on the face. This is pretty amazing. So do you guys know what level of detail is? Rodell, Connor, McKinney. Do you guys know what level of detail is? Did we talk about this? Basically, when things are closer up, you get more detail. You guys know about this? Not really? Okay. So basically, every card has a triangle budget. There's a certain number of triangles that it can draw at one time. It doesn't matter how powerful your card is. At some point, you're going to throw too many triangles on the screen. Your frame rate's going to dip. And so one of the classic ways that we deal with this problem is we have different versions of the same model. Like you have here a rock star, right, which says that it's tangerine, mango, guava, strawberry flavor. It actually tastes like grapefruit juice. And when you get really close to it, you can see all that detail. You can see just how smooth that meshes. But when this thing gets further and further away, you can't actually make out so many of the details on it anymore, right? And so you don't need to draw all of those triangles. And so what will happen in a game is that as a object gets closer and closer to the camera, it'll actually swap out different levels of detail, which is what LOD stands for. And so you can see LOD1, LOD2, this is less and less detail. As the person moves away from the camera, you can see that it is going to draw a less and less complicated version of the same character until it gets really, really, really really, really horrible. This is what graphics looked like in the mid '90s. Let me tell you. You literally count the triangles, right? And so when a person is that is so disturbing. It's so horrible. His hand is a mitt. There are no individual fingers. It is one flesh Yeah, it is. That is horrific. That is a flesh paddle that he has for a hand. He has offended the gods of chaos and has been punished with a flesh paddle as a result. Yeah. So, yeah, that is level of detail, and so you normally not show this at close range because it is horrific, right? But if this character here was like way off on the other side of like, 2 football fields away, you would not be able to tell that the person doesn't actually have fingers, but has been cursed by the flesh crafters to have just a single mitt on their hand. So the hand's unhappy face. I know, right? Let's see. When do the fingers reappear? We got fingers now. We got fingers. Yeah, we got fingers. Right. When do we lose our fingers? 6 maybe. Yeah. LOD 6. There's no longer any fingers. It's just absolutely terrible. Okay, so how do we export this? So there is no export option from here. What you have to do is you have to it's saved. Okay. You have to go back to My Metahumans here, and then it'll have an export button from there. And so we got Isaac here. Assets which are only displayed at LOD 0 and 1. Right, you notice like the facial hair vanished. And so with Isaac selected here, we're going to go over to export and click on that. And then it is going to export Isaac. And I can save it to my computer here if I want. And to bring it into your game, which is what you're going to have to do for your homework, like we have Sid here. What you have to do is use Quixel Bridge and make sure you're signed in on all of these things. Like I'm signed in here, and then when you go to Quixel Bridge, which is right here, make sure that you are signed in there as well. Are you here? Good. We're signed in there. Good. And then if you're signed in all the different places, then when you go to Metahumans on the left-hand side here and go to My Metahumans, let's see if it updates. There we go. You can see that Isaac is now there. I'm going to favorite it, and then you hit download. Okay. And then this process is going to take a while. Okay. So don't expect this to take place in a couple seconds. Right? So you just hit download and then just like go get a cup of coffee or something like that. Okay. And then while that's happening for Isaac, I'm going to show you how to do this with Sid because I've already downloaded Sid here. Okay. And so after you've downloaded Sid by clicking on that, you have to actually add it to your project by clicking the add button. Okay. So Isaac here, you see it's still downloading. So I can't click on the add button, but once it's fully downloaded, then you can click on add, and then it'll add it to your project. It will then probably pop up a bunch of like error message looking things saying, hey, you need to turn on this plugin, you need to turn on this plugin, you need to turn on this plugin. Hit yes for all of those. It'll ask you to reboot Unreal Engine, hit yes, and reboot Unreal Engine. At the end of all that, then you are going to be good to go. And you're going to have inside of your Metahumans folder here, you're going to have a folder for each one of your people. And if you want to just toss out the person to just, I don't know, look cool or whatever, you just drag them out into the world. And there you go. So there is our Drax looking character. Put him next to a bucket. Why not? There we go. All right. And you can see that poor Sid has a little bit of early onset male pattern baldness, a little bit of a gut. Life has not treated him well, but he did not treat the toys well. So sometimes it's just karma. And there you go. And now you have a metahuman in your game. Okay. You don't like it? A little bit of a gut. A little bit of a gut. Get these guys out here. And there he is. So you can walk through him and all that stuff because there's no collision on him, but that is how you can go about. And I died. There you go. That's the point. So that's all you guys have to do for your homework assignment. I want you guys to design something cool in Metahuman Creator and go through the process of exporting and importing and turning on the plugins and all that stuff. Get it put into your world, and you guys get 10 points for your homework. We'll pick this up maybe on Thursday, last day of class. Okay. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for coming out, and I hope you learned a little bit about motion capture and learned a little bit about Metahuman and how cool it is. It's kind of neat to just be able to have an RPG-style character designer that you can then bring into your game. So with that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.